happening, guys? I'm N64 Josh. This is Gamers in Karts getting interviewed. My guest today is none other than Mr. Cool Green Luigi. I mean, Mr. Cool Red Luigi. Let's start right there. What's the deal with the name? Break it down for us.
All right. Well, when I was growing up in school, a lot of people in grade school and in high school called me Mr. Mario because I would stay committed to all Nintendo consoles while all my friends, they went out and bought Xbox and PlayStation and stuff like that. Me, I always chose GameCube, Wii, so they always called me Mr. Mario. Well, Mr. Mario is kind of bland as a name, so I kind of twisted it around and decided that a lot of people call Luigi Green Mario, so I would call Mario Red Luigi. So that's how I ended up with Mr. Cool Red Luigi. And because I'm cool,
I see. So are you actually a Mario fan or actually a Luigi fan?
I'm a Mario fan. I'm the oldest sibling of 8, and I always pick Mario. And I have a Mario tattoo, and so Mario was always my go-to guy.
Okay, all right. You're like me then. Like, even at friend's house, I was like, you're not playing Mario, I am.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there was usually a threat involved after that, and then I got to play Mario, so it worked out well.
Yeah, a lot of times I got to play, most of the times when I played video games with someone, it was with my siblings, and they never got a chance to pick.
So there was violence there too then, right?
Yeah, it got hostile sometimes.
Oh my gosh. So let's talk about your history with Nintendo then. Where'd it start? Which system?
Well, I was a little too young to really experience the NES. I was introduced to the SNES at a really young age, probably around 3-4 years old. So that the SNES was probably my first console.
Okay.
My grandma, I used to live with my grandma when I was younger, and she had every video game that you could think of. And I remember, well, I don't remember, but my mom remembers telling me stories of how my grandma would come and take me in the middle of the night, and she would bring me to her room, and we would be playing Super Mario World together at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then my mom would have no clue where I'm at. The first time that she did it, my mom called the cops, and it wasn't until the cops got there that she found out that I was with my grandma. She she would give me a controller, but it wouldn't be plugged in or anything. But I thought that I was playing. So
of course,
that would be my first experience with that. But as I grew older, I continued to live with my grandma, and I started playing Super Mario World and A Link to the Past, and those two were, my go-to games when I was younger, and they're probably my top 2 favorite games today. Just because of the meaning behind it, playing it with my grandma and stuff like that. It's just it was just always something that I held close to me.
I see. So let's keep going down the line, man. What are some other favorites?
Well, for the SNES, I would have to say the very first game I ever beat was Earthworm Jim. And I don't know why I got into that game so much. It really didn't. It just kind of clicked with me just because of how quirky it was. But that was the very first game I ever beat. I also played a lot of Super Mario Kart, Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario RPG. Actually, one of my favorites back in the day was Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Oh,
and,
so good!
I don't hear that game. I know it's so good, and I never hear it being talked about ever. But that game was so good, and I could never figure out how to beat it when I was younger. But if I ever had a chance, I'd definitely go back to that and play it again, just because it was so much fun back then.
That was a Game Genie game for sure. That one was like, all right, I need infinite lives, I need infinite ammo. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, let's see. Oh, I played. Let's see, The Lost Vikings. That was a fun game. F-Zero, Super Castlevania. So that's pretty much it for the SNES, though.
That's a good list,
It was
though.
most. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I would have to say that 90% of the time I played video games, it was spent on Super Mario World and A Link to the Past. But all those other games were just as fun.
Did you were you as OCD as I was with Mario World and had all three at
Yep.
99%? So the fall setting
Yeah.
was taking place. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it was funny because like it got to a point to where I around like 5, 6 years old, I'm finding secrets and levels that my grandma couldn't find in the many years that she was playing, and just that feeling that I kind of got from the accomplishment that I could find something that my grandma couldn't. That really got me hooked into video games, and I've been pretty much stuck ever since.
I like it. I like it. So where did it go from the Super Nintendo then?
Well, my grandma also had a NES, and I did experience a lot of those games. I was really into all Mario 1, 2, and 3. Played a lot of those, and um, played Wrecking Crew. Of course, I played Ice Climbers.
Oh yeah,
Played a lot of that.
I think I'm gonna have that word banned in our chat, so the bot bans it anytime the word ice climbers is typed.
And honestly, I don't know how. I mean, it started as a funny joke when I first started talking about it, but it kind of grew into something I couldn't stop, you know, supporting the Ice Climbers because I was already so committed to telling everyone that it's this great amazing game. And honestly, I understand that it's really not that great, but I was already pretty deep into it, so I came back down now. So,
I think there's
but
people like that with Waluigi. I think they deep down, some
yeah,
of them love him. You know.
exactly. Yep, yep. So, and but other than that, let's see. I played the two Zeldas, Zelda 1 and 2. Never could get it figured out on the second one. I was too young to comprehend what was going on there. Um, but Dr. Mario, Duck Hunt, played those.
Oh yeah.
Mega Man. So a lot of the staple games that come out for that system I played.
I'll throw one out that no one seems to say that often that I thought was pretty popular back then. Kid Icarus.
I did play Kid Icarus, but I played it for like maybe a day and I got confused again. I could go back to it and maybe figure it out, but back then as a little kid, it's like, what am I doing here? What's going on? So, and I get frustrated and then I just quit and then I go back to playing a game that I knew exactly how to play, Mario and stuff like that.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. It makes sense. So after, did you end up going with the 64, or did you go to the ways of darkness with the PlayStation and things of that sort?
No, I did. I got the 64 when I was probably about 9 years old, I think it was. And the first game I got for that was Donkey Kong 64. And I didn't realize how bad that game was until I got older, but back then I thought it was the greatest thing on earth. And not only did I think that, but like all my siblings thought that as well. By the time that game came out, I had already had four other siblings, and we would each pick a Kong during the Donkey Kong rap, and we would all word it out when that Kong came up. And I was always Donkey Kong, just like I'm always Mario.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
it was pretty fun, and most of us enjoyed it, except for one of my sisters ended up having to be Lanky Kong. And we call her Lanky Kong to this day. You know, if I'm talking to her on the phone or something like that, I'll shoot out, "Hey, how's it going, Lanky Kong?"
Oh, I'm sure
And
she loves it.
it'll just drive her nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, the N64 is probably the Nintendo system that I played the most. I played so much of Mario 64 and Majora's Mask. I actually like Majora's Mask more than the Ocarina of Time, and I know that a lot of people don't feel that way, but I kind of liked the dark side of Majora's Mask a little more, so I kind of got hooked on that. And let's see. Oh, of course, I played Smash Bros endlessly. I once I got a hold of Super Smash Bros, it was over for pretty much every other game that was out for the 64 because I saw the game and I think it was a Radio Shack or something. They had uh, uh a little promo up and they had the game that you could play and I played it with a couple buddies there and after I played that I knew that I just wanted to play nothing but Smash Bros. So for
Mm.
years it would be Smash Bros. 64, and I could not get enough of it. And Smash Bros. Is probably the game series that I've played the most.
Was there a lot
Just
settled in Smash?
a lot of a lot was settled in Smash. My I have a brother that's about 2 years younger than me. Uh, he was like my competition. Like
Yeah.
we would butt heads every day. There would be he would win a match, I would win a match. He would win a couple, and then I would win a couple, and it kind of drove us to get better and better each day. And that continues today, and that like that I've never really been able to get into like the competitive scene or anything like that. But just playing with him alone has helped both of us get quite a bit better at Smash Bros. And a lot of people that we know anyway.
I love it. I love it. How many? I mean, with 8 of you, how many controllers got wore out?
Oh, well, there was a lot of controllers that got worn out, and there was a lot of controllers that just got busted by someone getting furious and chucking it across the room. I would have to say if I had to guess, it would have to be at least a dozen. Yeah, at least a dozen. And
That's not a small number.
no, it's not, especially given the fact that five, four of my siblings are really close in age to me. We're all about 6 years apart, and then I have three other siblings that are a lot younger. So us five were always the ones fighting over who was going to play and stuff like that back then. But we had a lot of fun when it came to like that was one thing that we could all get together and enjoy. Even because as a boy I would get into sports and as my sisters would be more into whatever it is they got into. But when it came to video games, we all had that same passion and love for it, and it was it was really fun.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Do you guys still play today? Like, if you guys get together, will you play Mario Kart or Smash or anything like that?
Yep. Well, most of the time it's just me and my brother. Me and him, we get together pretty much at least once a month, and we'll play some kind of video games. Whether it's Smash, a lot of times it's Smash Bros. But we'll play Mario Kart, and we'll play anything that has a competitive side to it. We'll jump into it just because that's where it seems like we get the most fun out of it. So.
Okay. All right.
But for the 64, I think the only other games like I said, Smash took up a lot of it. But I also played like Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap. I played GoldenEye, but I guess I just wasn't into GoldenEye like a lot of other people were.
Mm.
I like the multiplayer and I like the game in itself, but there's a lot of people that put that game on a higher peer than I like to myself.
A higher pedestal, man. That game can't
Higher
go on a.
pedestal,
It
yeah,
can't go on a higher pedestal.
yeah. Other than that, though, I played a lot of Mario Party. I played all the Mario Parties again. That's another competitive game
That
that
breaks
drove us all
controllers.
crazy. Yeah, exactly. And Diddy Kong Racing, that was one of my
Oh yeah.
favorites back in the day.
But like
And
Wave Race and
uh,
1080, how about those ones?
I've never played Wave Race, and I
Really?
actually never heard of it until I got older.
Really? Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
no, it was mostly Diddy Kong Racing and Mario Kart. As far as racing games go.
I need to stream some Wave Race one day. Like those were I loved those games on the 64. Like
Yeah, yeah. I hear like when I hear a lot of people talk about their favorite games for like if say they're talking about N64 Classic and what games they would like on there. A lot of people say Wave Race, and I don't know what it is, but if people are that excited about that game, it must be good.
Yeah, it was just something about I think the water mechanics and everything, like they just did it so well. It was
Yeah.
nice. And the announcer on Wave Race, right? Of course, Kirby mentions that. I love it. I love it.
But I think the only other games that I played on the 64 was the sports games, Mario Golf, and
Oh,
tennis.
so good.
Uh,
Mario
couldn't
Tennis.
get enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Little
So,
Waluigi love.
yeah, exactly. The
Yeah.
first game he came out. But I
So
think that's about
from
it.
there it was GameCube.
From there, it was GameCube, and GameCube was actually the first console that I actually bought myself with my own money. So I was like, that thing was like my baby back then,
Oh yeah. What
and
color did you get?
it was the purple one,
Okay.
the light purple one or whatever color they call that, but
Indigo.
uh, indigo. There you go. And the very first game I got was Smash Melee, and again that took up so much of my time because I don't know that some about Smash Bros. That the competitive nature of it and the fact that you can just turn the switch and make it into just a kind of a party game. That's just it really appealed to me, especially with having so many siblings, friends coming over and stuff like that. So
Chat
I
is
played a
asking
lot of
about
them.
Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk. I was never a fan of skateboarding, but I played Tony Hawk with like if I went over to friends' houses and they had the game, I would play there. But I never personally wanted Tony Hawk in my collection or anything like that. I do appreciate the games; they are fun, and you could probably put most any game in front of me and I'll enjoy it. Um, but there's just some that I like more than others.
I got you. I got you. So break down the old GameCube. Then was the first one, the first console you bought. Like, how
Yeah.
many? Did you have a lot of games for this one? Were you?
Well, no, a lot of games that I end up having to buy myself, so it wasn't a huge list. But other than Melee, I did play Metroid Prime. I that was when I first got into Metroid because I never played any Metroid game before that, and I played the whole 3 hours of Luigi's Mansion because that game is just you blink and it's over. And uh,
Don't blink.
I really, yeah, I really got into Mario Kart Double Dash, and I really liked the game. I think it was a lot of fun. Now that we have Mario Kart 8, it's not it doesn't look that great and it doesn't play that great anymore. But back then, I just loved that game. It was so much fun.
That's cool.
And
That's cool. Yeah, I for some reason did not. I think I still blame Fran for giving it a 7.9. I think that's why I didn't.
I've heard about that running story.
Yeah.
I don't know the meaning behind it, but I hear 7.9 a lot. So.
Well, he works for IGN still, and he reviewed Mario Kart Double Dash back when it came out, and he gave it a 7.9, and everybody harasses him for it. Like
Oh, okay. Saying
everybody.
that it should be bigger,
Yeah, they're like,
like a higher
how do you
score.
give
Okay.
like if you? I've gone back and listened to like old NVCs and stuff like that, and like everybody just harasses him. It's such a riot, man. It's so funny.
It's like, if you put one thing out there that people can come down on you on, like the you not owning Mario 64, that's just gonna stick with you for eternity. It seems like.
Oh, it will. Yeah, yeah. I need to just buy it so
But
that they'll leave me alone.
well, let's see. Other than that, for the GameCube, I
Did you play any of the? Oh, you weren't big into first-person shooters, right?
I was not back then. I didn't get into first person shooters until I got into my early 20s,
Okay.
and I almost stayed away from them just out of disgust. The fact that it was just so popular, and I didn't want to be part of that,
I see.
then everyone was just addicted to Call of Duty and stuff back then, and I just wanted to play something else. I wanted to play Mario game, and obviously Mario isn't a shooter.
Right, right, right.
Um, let's see. I played Twilight Princess.
Okay, good,
Um,
good.
I really love that game. It's not my top Zelda, but it's like any Zelda you can get into, and it just it's great for the most part. Um, yeah, a lot of GameCube games. I didn't have a whole lot. I had some Mario parties. Pikmin. That was when I first got into Pikmin. Uh, um, Pokemon Coliseum.
What about Resident
Four
Evil?
Sword. Resident Evil. Yes, I had that one, and that was it was. I was in a foster home when I first got my GameCube, and my foster parents did not want me ever playing Resident Evil. So that one sat in the on the shelf collecting dust for so long, and I would have to sneak my way into playing that whenever I could, and made sure that none of my siblings were around because they would go tell on me, and then I would be in trouble for playing that game, which was funny because they let me play games like Mortal Kombat back then and stuff like that. I don't know why Resident Evil just they must have heard something about Resident Evil, and it was
What had
game
evil in the
over after
name?
that. Yeah, that might have been it,
That's all they
but other than
needed.
that, I yeah, that's all they needed, and it was game over for Resident Evil for me.
Yeah. So then onto the Wii and the Wii U.
I did I did own a Wii, and um, I I owned a lot of the big titles. Super, I owned Brawl, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. That was, of course, my main game to play when I decided to play my Wii. I played the Galaxy games, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and the new
Excellent
Super
games,
Mario
by the
Bros.
way. Super good games.
Yeah, so good. And it was like one of those few games that it was one player, but me and my brother we could work together and we would enjoy it instead of having to play at the same time. But new Super Mario Bros. That put a whole new meaning into hating each other though, because uh, half the time it seems like whenever we played that game together, it would be all of us focusing on throwing each other off into the lava or something. So like we never even like finishing the level. We just wanted to see how many times we could throw each other into the lava and kill each other.
Of course. Of course. I love it. I love
And
it.
actually that was probably the first system where I started branching out into games that weren't really Mario and stuff like that. That was around the time that I got really deep into Guitar Hero. I actually played that game religiously for about 3 years and went into tournaments and everything for that game. So uh, that was probably what I played the most during the Wii era, and I'm sometimes ashamed of how much I played that game because it was ridiculous how much I was addicted to that game.
I love it, man. I love it. Guitar Hero is great. So
It was really fun. Yeah.
we're gonna wrap this thing up, but not before you answer everyone's favorite question. What is the one game everybody's gonna judge you for because you've never played it and or completed it?
Um. Okay. Well, there's a couple that I have. Uh, I had mentioned before that I never played any Metroid game until Prime, so I never played Super Metroid or the original Metroid. Um, I think the biggest one that I've never played, but I'm ashamed to say that I haven't, is I never played Mario Sunshine for the GameCube, and as a Mario fan, I'm a little disappointed in myself about that.
Wait a minute. And
Yeah,
you've harassed me about not having Mario 64, and you never even played Sunshine as the biggest
Nope.
Mario fan, as the self-proclaimed biggest Mario fan with a tattoo,
Yeah, with the Mario tattoo,
and you
yeah.
never played Mario Sunshine. Even like you had an opportunity with the Wii, everything. Do you still
Yep.
have the Wii?
Yeah. I do not have the Wii anymore, and I actually had like uh I had rented the game a couple times when I had my GameCube, but it was always just put to the side because I always wanted to play Smash Bros. So I never even like I'd rent it and I'd never even play it, and then I'd have to send it back, and then I'd be like, oh, well, maybe I should try playing it again now, and I'd go and rent it, and again I wouldn't play it. I'd just go right back to Smash Bros. So,
Oh my
but yeah, that
gosh!
would be the big one for me. Would be uh, Mario Sunshine.
All right. Well, Kirby says you're probably too busy playing Ice Climbers. Oh, I love it. I love it.
uh,
All right, man. Well,
yeah.
is there anywhere you want to let people know where they can find you? Twitter, Twitch, anything like that?
Well, I am on Twitter. A lot of it is me just following other people and retweeting and stuff like that. Um, I am starting to get a little more involved into the gaming community. All of this is fairly new to me. So, but you can find me at Mr.Cool Red Luigi on Twitter, and then I live in your Discord, so you guys can always find me there.
He does. He
So,
has a little sign that says "We'll game for food" and things like that. Like he's just
yeah,
always hanging out there. So, no, it's awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking the time, and I appreciate it, dude.
yeah. It's been an honor. I had a lot of fun.
Good, man. Good. And guys, if you're checking this out on YouTube after the fact, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you want to see other videos just like this one, there's going to be one in the box. I don't know, right above me, right on my face. I don't know. It'll be somewhere here. You can click it and continue watching more of these. This has been, I think this is episode 6. I'm not even sure, but we're moving right along here. Maybe it's 5. Maybe it's 4. I don't even know. We're just gonna keep knocking these out, and I'm gonna do another one right now. So thanks again, Mr. Cool Red Luigi, and we'll see you guys in the next video.